Each year, the National Women's Commission, NWC, spearheads a 16-day crusade against gender-based violence, GBV, and violence against women and girls. The international campaign commences on November 25 and ends on 10 December, Human Rights Day. The events are geared at raising awareness, demanding change, and marching together in hopes of eradicating the social issues plaguing our women and girls. Tia Garcia Ramirez, president of the NWC, echoed the importance of taking action as she paraded down the main streets of Belize City.
There's no excuse, so make us stop with the excuses and get on with it to end gender-based violence.
Among this morning's speakers who echoed the significance of the theme, from activism to action, it ends with me, was Minister of Human Development and Families, Dolores Balderramos Garcia.
The 16 days of activism, as was said to us, is not so much a celebration as a time for action. Let's do whatever we need to do. The International Day to End Violence Against Women is tomorrow. That begins the 16 days of activism, so we're just doing it a day early. And then, of course, ending on the day of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which now is 75 years. So I think that we have the opportunity now to really continue. So I'm very, very happy with today's ceremony. As you can see, we all have on our pretty orange, you and all. So once again, the message is one of optimism, of hope, of commitment, and of continued struggle.
Today's parade included participation from a wide range of representatives from civil societies who gathered to call for change and action. However, according to U.S. Ambassador Michelle Kwan, the loudest voices in the bunch were those of the students who went out to support their mothers, sisters, grandmothers, and female loved ones.
To action, right? And you see behind me everybody marching, young people marching to really talk about and highlight. I think the color orange is really the importance of shedding light, shedding bright light to an issue that is a problem, gender-based violence. I think it's amazing to see the young people. It really gives us hope that we can finally eradicate gender-based violence globally. And I have a young daughter, 2 years old, Calista Bell, and I really care about the future. Because when you look behind me, these young people who are marching, who are so passionate, they are the future of Belize.
Working with the future leaders of Belize to shun GBV and violence against women and girls is one of the latest ventures of the Love Foundation. The organization's managing director, Deborah Sewell, says that a host of community leaders are taking it upon themselves to teach youth the importance of respecting and cherishing women.
We have a project that we're currently engaging men and boys in the prevention of violence against women and girls. So the guys that are with us today are the leaders of the hubs, and they are the ones who are working alongside the Ahmadiyya community. We have a partnership with them where we'll be starting in January, going into the schools and having sessions with young boys talking about the prevention of violence, period, but also the prevention of violence against women and girls. We have been working with the hub leaders, building their capacity for the past 3 years. And so this is just an extension of what we've been doing.
Michael Big Mike Francis, a Love Foundation hub leader, is among the men working to change the mentality of his peers and the young people who look up to him. He believes in working today for a better tomorrow.
The key right now at Love Foundation, we're trying to attack the young guys from within the school. Like most of that we know come from areas that violence is like a norm. So we know that young people are most vulnerable, and the pattern that you learn from you are young usually take you through adulthood. So before they reach adulthood and enter this cycle of violence, especially domestic violence, you teach them from they are small as young men and young women what they should expect and how they should treat people, especially towards women. You have to teach them how to appreciate, love and respect women from a young age.
While the campaign ends on December 10th, Minister of Human Development and Families Dolores Balderramos Garcia says it is important to acknowledge the work that is done year-long to ensure the women of our nation can be free of violence once and for all.
We had beautiful messages today, especially from the U.S. Ambassador. Again, no excuses was her main message. And then, of course, the messages of support, recognizing the Love Foundation, recognizing the Spotlight Initiative, recognizing our National Women's Commission. These are the kinds of things that I'm really feeling happy about.
I don't know what other signs the people of the Caribbean want or need to know that this whole woman movement thing is a plot. It's a scheme. It's a way to get into your society. It's just another tactic. Apart from the programs, apart from religion, apart from the education system, it is simply another strategy. Because they know that they can play on the emotions of the woman. So these men who are falling for this stuff, when you know that most of the young people who's getting murdered are young boys. Most of the people who are getting murdered are young boys. Why aren't they saying violence in general? They talk about being against racism and other stuff, but here they're pushing this sexism stuff and push their nationalism stuff, all type of ways to divide us onto themselves. One thing you have to realize, you recognize that with this woman movement, you can get every group of people inside of it. That way they have access to this stuff. And you hear the lady speaking, she's telling you who they're listening to, who they're taking orders from. So the men of the community better wake up, because the wars has always been against men. The woman is no threat. They know they can control the woman emotionally, most of them actually. And a lot of these men too, who's following them around. And they know how much grown men appreciate their mothers and their daughters. Yes, we have these criminals out there as well. But they understand that controlling the woman of a community can give them great leverage over that community. We know that. Some of you guys, when you've been to clubs, you see they have the woman nights. A woman get free up to such and such time. You never hear them say there's a man night where man get free up to such and such time. Because most of us men are weak. We follow the woman. Many wars were over women. Woman has been used as a bounty of war forever. You invade a country, you defeat the people there, you take the woman, and they do whatever they want with the woman. That's something that has been going on for generations. So we need to be mindful of this stuff. And a lot of these women, they mean well. I'm sure they mean well, but a lot of people don't have that vision out there to see, like, what are the pros and cons to this right here? What's the purpose for it based on history? Because we have a short time memory where we just disregard history and just continue like hey nothing. And we take these actions that put the children at risk for not having control over their own destiny. But we put it in the hand of someone else. What do these other nations have that we don't have? These are the same people who say that God make all men equal, but we always want to be sucking on the bosom of other people. The men in this community better wake up and realize that you're being played, you're being suckered, and the woman as well. You're being played and you're being suckered. And I know you don't want to feel like you're being played and you're being suckered. Ain't no one gonna take care of you. There's a particular group of people in the Caribbean who faced a situation different to any other people in the Caribbean. I mean, everybody went through some stuff, but there are some things we realize in our community that we are still suffering today. But none of these people are coming together and say, hey, the people of African descent need special attention and we need to work better together. But because their bosses say, hey, y'all need to have a International Women's Day and wear this color and stuff, they're quick to run out there. But if somebody else come and say, hey, we've been disenfranchised, we don't have a home, everybody else have a home to go to. Our young boys and young girls are not treating each other right. We don't see each other as a family no more. We are divided with religion and politics and all type of stuff, unlike any other people. So we have a special case that we need to focus on. If anyone bring that up, they're going to disregard it and act like it doesn't exist, even though they see the gang violence that's happening with us against each other. But that is because their bosses didn't tell them that that's the place they need to focus on. So they're not going to fool me with that stuff. Vanguards of Belize need to keep an eye on these people and don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. It's not a violence against women thing. End violence, period across the board. No violence against women, no violence against men. We're not going to allow them to divide us with this feminism stuff, because their plan is to set things up to take whatever woman and put their woman in charge, because they know they can control these women more. They feel more comfortable with a woman in charge because they feel that they have more leverage and more control over these women. They realize how effective such strategy has been in other parts of the world. In such place, there is a place, I'm not going to call any name, they basically neutered the men and put the woman in place. So the woman is the leader of their communities, of their societies. Anytime there's an issue, you see the woman at the forefront leading it, and the man is in the back somewhere hiding. And that is the way they like it to be. That is the way they like it to be, because they're not worried about the woman as much. In their eyes, it's easier to control them. I know a lot of people don't want to believe that, but that is the reality.